quick review on the Metzeler M9RRs. My bike is an MT10. I'm running 34 psi in the front and 36 psi in the rear tyre. The M9RR is a full silica dual compound tyre with medium hard centre and medium soft shoulders. My initial impressions of these tyres are all new tyres feel fantastic when you first go out on them. What really stood out for me was that they're sticky, they're great in the wet, they feel planted, and they give a pretty plush ride. They have a profile that enables confident edge-to-edge lean angles and fast left-to-right transitions. They feel very precise when entering and exiting corners. They're super positive at any lean angle all the way to the edge. And when you hit the tight corners, you can transition from left to right as fast as you're capable of making that happen with very little effort. The cornering stability is outstanding, and the M9RRs are not light or twitchy like some hypersport tyres. They're planted and precise. However, the standout feature of the M9RR is its performance in the wet. For a hypersport tyre, the wet weather performance is amazing, or at least it is in the first 50% of the tyre life. Wet weather performance does drop off in the last half of the tyre's life, more so on wet cornering than straight line riding. Overall performance, I'm going to give the tyre 9 out of 10. These are a really confidence-inspiring tyre in nearly all conditions. Around town, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well. Great traction on greasy surfaces, lumps, bumps, and hard starts and stops. Carving corners, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Excellent left to right transitions and super stable throughout any turn. Holding a line, 10 out of 10. Point these things where you want them to go, and that's exactly where they go. Sidewall flex and stiffness, I'm going to give them about 9 out of 10. The 100% silica compound provides excellent sidewall control. Lean angle, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Great edge-to-edge lean angle, but performance does drop off in the last half of the tyre's life. Traction, 10 out of 10. Awesome traction, especially in the wet. Feedback and sensitivity, 9 out of 10. Good feel and sensitivity on all surfaces. Wet weather performance, 9 out of 10. Outstanding for a hypersport tyre, to be honest. Performance over the life of the tyre, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Performance drops off considerably over the life of the tyre. I'm just going to give it a 7 out of 10 for performance in the last half of its life in particular. Tyre life durability, I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 again. I'm going to get about 4,000 or 5,000 kilometres of hard cornering out of these tyres before they're toast, sadly. So in my conclusion, the M9RR is a fantastic hypersport tyre, especially in the wet. I'll give you a great deal of confidence in pushing hard through the canyons or on the track. The only caveat is performance does drop off noticeably in the last 50% of the tyre life. And its main competition for the M9RRs is the Battlax S22. And in my opinion, the S22s is probably one of the best hypersport tyres on the market. So I'm going to make some comparisons to the S22. I love the S22s, particularly their cornering characteristics, but they don't feel quite as planted as the M9RR in the corners. And they're only good for about 5,000 to 6,000 kilometres before their life is over as well. Another issue with the S22 is the centre hard compound. Personally, I think it's too hard, and I'm talking about the rear tyre here. This hard centre compound has caused minor issues with hard straight line braking and hooking up under hard launches, especially in the wet. So the choice between the S22 and the M9RR is pretty simple, I think. The S22 for the dry and the M9RR for the wet. Price might also play a bit of a role in your decision-making process, as the M9RR can be quite a bit more expensive than the S22. It just depends where you live, what country you're in. Many of the tyre performance characteristics that I've highlighted here are specific to my bike, my riding style and my riding conditions. You may experience different outcomes, but I hope some of this info helps to make the right choice about which tyre to buy so you can enjoy your riding even more than you already do. Here's a table giving a score out of 10 for the performance characteristics of the S22 versus the M9RR.